Hello, and welcome back, Pro Cycling Manager 2019. On the cards, and we have a solution. If you haven't seen my other video, I'll try and link a card up in the corner. But there's a bit of a workaround to this use of contacts of interest problem. Now, normally this email is important and you can't just bypass it, but you can go into the database, edit that, and set it to not important, and you can get through that little issue. Hopefully that will be resolved by Cyanide in the future, but for the moment it at least allows us to get past April the 2nd, which is where we were stuck before, and as if to prove that, it's currently April 6th. So we are about to head into our next race. We'll spin the game along and get ready to go racing once again. So here we are. Let's have a look at the stage. Reasonably flat. I'm feeling good for this one. We're in good condition as well. We won last time out, of course, so let's see how today's race unfolds. Okay, it's almost time to go racing once again. Let's see what the Director Sportif has for us today. Work at the head of group for 30 kilometers with at least one teammate in the group. Well, we've seen this before. We know how this is done. Boom. Play. Let's roll. 184.5 kilometers is the distance. We'll get Mad Max Venturi up to the head of the peloton. We'll sit there and just cycle through. We'll try and dominate the pace setting to begin with, just to try and chalk off some of these. How many we've got? 30 kilometers, was it? Yeah, so we've got one of our own team trying to think about maybe perhaps breaking clear. Doesn't happen though. So alright, we are on the front and we are riding far too hard. Let's drop this down to about 60. So clearly the peloton not happy with someone that's in this break. There's a couple of riders in this race who are reasonably well credentialed. Some World Tour teams in this race as well. So we've got guys like Daniel Oss and those sorts of people. Benati and all sorts of people playing with us here today. So there is Daniel Oss. He was listed as one of the favourites. So let's just see, it doesn't look as though the peloton's happy about the makeup of that break. They've been reeled back in, and I'm now on the front of the group, just in quiet turns. I'm just going to drop pace back to about 50%. We've got no one even looking like they're going to head off the front, so there's no need to ride too hard. Probably even drop that a bit lower, just really save our energy here. Not having a good day, but -1, and that's our sprint's unaffected. So if we're there at the finale, that should be okay. Not much of a wind, and more or less a flat stage all the way through. So let's spin this one along and see what happens as the day's stage progresses. Alrighty, so I've just completed the 30k right at the front objective. I had to massage it quite a bit because the pace has been up and down as we've gone over a few of the early lumps in this stage. We're now approaching probably the sharpest climb of the day, perhaps not, maybe the second hardest of the day. A couple of little bumps to get over. The breakaway is about 3 minutes up the road. It's sort of been there consistently throughout much of the race. It's all very much in check. Still over 100 kilometers to go in this one though. So let's spin it on a little bit further and see where everything ends up. Alright then, so the breakaway is basically within our reach now. It's just over a minute up the road. We're coming up to the last real sort of lump in the terrain. It's about 50 kilometers to go. We're sitting in a good spot here. Been towards the front throughout this race. Haven't had to use much, if any, energy really. So although we're not having a brilliant day, we're not too bad. Thankfully the stats that it is impacting aren't really all that relevant. We've got reasonable stamina. Resistance is a little bit down, but that's okay. It's been a fairly easy day, so it hasn't mattered too much. We're starting to struggle a little bit more as we go up this climb, so I'll just increase the effort a little bit just to keep us up towards the front. We should get that energy back by the time we get to the finish line. So we're in a good spot here. Lots of teammates around as well. Parmesan is in there. So all things going to plan, we should be in with a chance of a decent result. Certainly a top 50 is fair. Let's just pause this and see if we can find anyone here that is likely to be a contender come to the finish. Daniel Loss, he was certainly one of the favourites, so let's see if we can have a look at him. Yeah, so he's got about as much energy as what we do. So okay, we're okay. We're okay. Let's play this on. We'll spin it along a little bit and pick it up just before the finish. Okay, so starting to attack and counter-attack each other in the escape group now. So the peloton, as a result, is stretching out and condensing quite rapidly, so I'll just slow things down just to try and keep an eye on things. There's no one here really that we can learn too much from. Everything's sort of pretty self-evident at this point. It's just a case of staying on top of the race as it develops now. And we've still got good energy left. We're in a good position. We've got our gel. We'll use that at 5 kilometers to go. We're tucked up in the queue here. We're looking pretty handy at this stage. Let's have a look at Millard. Yeah, so this is all looking pretty handy indeed. Might just take position. Oh, we'll just leave it where we are. We'll leave it where we are. As again, this front group just accelerates. Jockey for position, and then we'll slot back in to place here somewhere. So the breakaway group is all but gone now. Let's reach out and touch them at the front end of this race. So it's going to be a sprint to the finish, just under 15 kilometers from home here. We're going to have to be attentive at this point now. Try and pick the right wheel. I think Millard is a good one to try and follow. If we can get out. Might have to burn some energy just to try and make up some ground here, because we're getting caught up against the side of the road, which is not ideal. Try and get out and around. Okay, we're using some energy here that we really don't want to. Try and jump onto the back of Mattis. Okay, that's a good spot there. We'll sit there for the moment. Try and recover some of that. So let's just have a look at the map here. Get rid of that one. Okay, so there is a left-hand corner coming up. I don't know how far away that is from the finish. That's the only thing. So we're going to have to be mindful of that left-hand corner. Not sure exactly how far that is from the finish, so something to be mindful of. I don't think it's going to impact our sprint too much. Be mindful here and almost just need to be ready to use our gel as we go into the 5 kilometer banner here. Boom, hit that gel as well. It's all starting to break up at the front a little bit. Just need to make sure we don't get caught in the wrong wheel here. I think we've got a good wheel. It's going a long way out. Is who is this? Clay's 2 kilometers out is a long way from home. Where are we here? We're on a decent where we want to go just after the 1 kilometer mark. We're sprinting now. We're not going to have the sprint of some of these guys, but we're still going to get a good result here. Certainly inside the top 10. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll be maybe even top 15 if we're lucky. A lot of people in that group. There we go. P14, that's not bad. We'll take that. Ultimately, we're not a sprinter, so to be in the top 15 I think is pretty good. And a solid result for Max Venturi. So there we go, same time as the race winner, P14. Not a bad result for Max Venturi. The boss pretty happy with that. 8 points, 1% manager satisfaction, so not a huge result for us, but even still happy days. We've got a week-long tour coming up. We'll tackle that in the next episode. Thanks once again for your company through this one. I'm glad we managed to get this contacts of interest problem resolved. There is a video on how to do that if you're stuck at that point as well. Although chances are by the time you're watching this video, Cyanide has released a solution to that. But thank you once again. Don't forget to hit that like button. Leave your comments below as well. I do love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. That little bell so that the moment they go live, you are made aware. Until next time, keep riding.